Are you looking for some peace? Let me help you find it here today. I'm Michele Thill with Newland Wellness, and this is for women who are over 50 and in a life transition. And today, I'd like to talk to you and share with you about the power of perspective. Now, I've been sharing the last few times we've been together about tapping in more to your inner peace, because we're not going to find it outside in the world today necessarily, or in our lives, right? You're living through uncertain times, both in the world and in your life. And I want to help you connect with the fact that finding peace is not an outside find. It's an inner development. And it's you tapping into your inner power that helps bring out the peace so that you can relax more and find some calm and be more grounded and centered through your life challenges or world challenges. And I've talked about reverse worrying in the past, where that is, instead of how we expect things to go wrong or we worry about things going wrong, what if we thought instead about how it could go right? What could happen differently, and put ourselves more in a mode of expectation of the outcome going well instead of poorly, especially because many times we're worrying about things that are never going to happen, thankfully. Yet we put that worry out there and we put that focus on that and drain our energy on that. Another one I've given is the what if, but in a positive view. So many times we look at what if this goes wrong, what if that happens, and instead flip it to open it up to possibility and potential of what if I do this? What if this then happens? And even though you may not have all the answers, right? It's not about having the answers. It's just about opening yourself up to the opportunity where you're going to start finding the solutions, because you're focusing more on the positives than just staying stuck in the negatives. When we're just focusing on the problem, for an example, it's keeps us there and doesn't allow us to open up to how we can help ourselves more. And in this case, how we can help ourselves just feel more peaceful and grounded and centered. So today I have a reframing tool for you. And it's the phrase, I choose to see this differently. And what's nice is you can say it out loud if you're by yourself, or think it. And what it is, first off, it's a pattern interrupt. When you're finding your thoughts are spiraling, and usually it's in that negative fashion, all the thoughts of what could go wrong, what's going to happen, all the fear, the uncertainty, everything that's weighing you down. If you catch yourself in those moments and say, I choose to see this differently, first off, it's a pattern interrupt. It's stopping the thoughts that are happening because you're becoming conscious of those thoughts. And you're setting the intention to choose to see it differently. And then what starts happening is you start rewiring your brain so that you can now start shifting your perspective. You know, this isn't toxic positivity. This isn't a denial. It's you having the ability to take control of your mind and your thoughts instead of your thoughts continuing to control your life. and it's a big game changer. So think about times where, and I've shared this before, where we get caught in the I should. We should all over ourselves. I should have done this. I should have said that. This should have went this way. He should have did this. We spend time living in that regret. And even though it's past, we continue to keep it alive and beat ourselves up. So if you find yourself in those moments where you're regretting and living in what's already been, you can bring that conscious awareness and say, I choose to see this differently. And start by thinking, you know what? I did the best that I could in the moment. And I've shared this before. Are we doing the best that we can in the moment, given our situation and how we're feeling? Yes, maybe in hindsight, we realize we could have done something differently, said something differently, maybe showed up as a better version of ourselves. And the nice thing is when you choose to look at it differently and realize that you did the best that you could in the moment, what you do is, instead of beating yourself up, you start growing. Because you start then thinking, well, this is how I could have handled myself. This is what I could have done or said or thought or whatever. And it then allows you to open up for the next time you're caught in some sort of situation, where then you start acting in a new way instead of reacting in the same old way. So it opens you up to become that better version of yourself. And again, you're not beating yourself up, you're growing and you're giving yourself that break. It's just like when we find ourselves in the uncertainty of things, where you're feeling like, I don't know what to do. This is scary. I'm so worried about this. I choose to see this differently. And you start to open yourself up to, okay, this is an opportunity for me to grow. This is an opportunity for me to learn something. This is an opportunity for me to find my own footing and my own way and navigate through this situation. And it gives you the ability to relax and to breathe. And instead of feeling all tense about what you're caught up in, to take that step back and ground and center yourself and realize that this problem is actually an opportunity for me to learn and grow and respond in a different way. So I choose to see this differently. Really helps you relax more and feel more peaceful. Another scenario would be when we're stuck in our old stories. Sometimes we're in a pattern where we say things like, this always happens to me. It's just my luck. Have you ever said or thought those? Instead of continuing, because the more you say things like that, the more you keep yourself stuck in those patterns. Because when you choose to see things differently, ultimately what ends up happening is then you choose to show up differently. You choose different actions. And so when you start to break those patterns and you find yourself going down that path of almost a victimhood, and understandably, right? But instead start to say, you know what? I choose to see this differently. This time, things are going to be different for me. I don't know how. You don't have to know how. You're just opening yourself up to the how to come to you in some way by just being open. So instead of saying this always happens to me or it's just my luck, no, I choose to see this differently. This time, I'm going to break that streak that I've held and see where it goes. I want to share a story with you on how I chose to see something differently. Can you relate? So I was invited to an event from some dear friends of mine, and they've always been very supportive of me and I of them. And now I'm going to this event, and it turns out I was supposed to go with one of my kids who then wasn't able to go, and I'm going alone now. And you know, have you had those thoughts? Oh no, now I'm going by myself. Oh, everybody else is going to be a couple, and I don't have that partner to go with. It's too late to try to drum up someone else to go with, and now I'm faced going alone. How awkward is this going to be? Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. Who am I going to talk to? Will I know anybody else there? And we start talking ourselves into dreading something that maybe we were even looking forward to, because now all of a sudden I'm faced going alone. And I could have not gone. But this wasn't about me, right? This was about my friends and their event. And I had to look past myself and be there for them. They would be there for me, right? So I decided to I chose to see this differently. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to make the best out of this. I'm going to be sociable as best as I can. Yes, it's uncomfortable. But let's see, if there's some new people that I can find to talk to. Let me just be there to support my friends. And I went. And it turned out to be a really nice time. I did end up talking to some people that I met that were just lovely. There were a few other ladies that were also on their own, and we were talking with each other. I found myself mingling with some of the couples. There were some people I wasn't expecting to be there that I hadn't seen in quite a while, and we were reminiscing and catching up. And I left there feeling really good because I chose to see this differently and didn't let my thoughts stop me, and therefore I showed up differently. Instead of, if I would have went dreading going, nervous and awkward about going, and then you know how that goes. You just feel so uncomfortable, and without realizing it, you're acting uncomfortable and awkward and distant, and it's like nobody is even engaging because of the energy that you're putting out there. And then you're like, see, nobody even wants to talk to me, nobody, whatever. And you're dreading and looking to get the hell out of there. When you choose to look at something differently, you choose to show up differently and act differently. It opens you up to potential and possibility. So you're not just seeing on the surface what is. Instead, you're expanding it to what could be. And what could be something wonderful. So try it. I choose to see this differently. Whenever you're facing something that you feel is a challenge for you, and then let that phrase be an opportunity to open up a whole new experience for you. If you like what I have to share, If I resonate with you, please like, follow, and subscribe for more. And please share this with someone who could use my message. I'm here to help us find more peace and feel more joy in our lives as we navigate through these times and beyond. Until next time, be well.